what might have felt like a month for you all felt like an eternity for me. But welcome back to the Rendezvous, and welcome back to the LTA North Split 2. I'm still calling it spring, because dear God, does it feel like it.
These beautiful things that I've
There's a non-zero chance that you actually recognize where I'm at right now if you've watched any sort of Casey Neistat vlog, but there's actually a lot of people running, so I'm not going to film in this particular area because I know not everybody wants to be on camera as they're running by, but we've got a lot to catch up on over the last month since games were last played. I wish I had an update for everybody on the status of 100 Thieves League of Legends right now and our future beyond 2025, given that, again, we are in that provisional guest slot, but the reality is, I don't, and nobody knows at the moment. Mark Z did say it would be early this year, which is right around this time period, but unfortunately, that has not come through yet, so we have no clue what to expect. For now, keep your fingers crossed, keep vocalizing your support for the program, for the players, for the team, and that's really all we can do. But in case you haven't paid attention to any of the 100 Thieves content that has come out over the last month, there was actually a really good heist video on Sniper specifically and his journey over the course of the year so far. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go take a look. Man, that wind is really rocking that. I think I'm actually going to get off this pier because I'm inviting a lot of wind and it's starting to pick up. So yeah, there have been 3 videos since the immediate loss in playoffs back in Split 1. And none of the views have really kind of exceeded even 5K, I think, which was shocking to me. So I want to ask you all directly, like most people that watch my channel also typically watch 100 Thieves in some capacity. Have you watched the videos? Have you not been tuning in? What's been the difference in terms of like what makes good quality versus not? Because it's not like old heist videos didn't hit 6 figures. And I'm not delusional to the point where I think that we're going to hit that anymore, obviously. But to not even be able to crest 5K is a little odd. So I don't know what's missing. I just want to know all of your thoughts on it. I can't control anything that they do, but maybe I can provide feedback in some way, shape, or form. But the one video on that channel that I do specifically want to highlight was the all chat video, which had Kangas in it. It featured some of the players of which they talked about the loss in finals, that 0-3 defeat where we did get rocked. And the more I hear about it, the more I'm buying into the fact that if we were to face them again, we would not have the same fate, especially if the circumstances change, because we had a lot of players that were sick and under the weather and just not feeling good that entire time that they were there, partially due to the conditions that they were in. Maybe it was just the culture clash or like things not being like up to scale to what you would expect them to be for American standards. But Team Liquid was notably staying at the Team Liquid Alienware facility. Their scrims were better. Their meal prep was better. Now you could blame us for not having that same level of investment in Brazil. Sure, at the end of the day, it is an excuse no matter what way you try and frame it, but I just feel like when we get back on domestic stages, I'm feeling pretty good about this split, and that'll bleed over into the predictions here in a bit. On the general org front, I do want to call out that there's a lot of positive things happening. I know the last time I did like a around the org segment that wasn't about League of Legends, it was a little bit more negative, but genuinely speaking, over the last 2.5 months, I feel like everything that the org has been doing has been a step in the direction that I want it to be, specifically like the Behind the Thieves segment, which is basically like, if you've never watched Barstool, it's kind of like a office and see what's going on while blending some of the creators and some of the staff as well, and like getting a peek behind the curtain in a way that we don't typically see, that is actually, it feels more raw and authentic to what I want this to be, what like the dream of eventually working for 100 Thieves or being part of the organization eventually kind of bleeds into. If you have not seen that video, be sure to go watch it. It's on the main channel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It might be one of my favorite 100 Thieves pieces of content that has been released in the last few years, and I really hope they keep doing more of it. Like even if it's just like down to earth, like office conversations, like random things that happen that you see all the time out of the Barstool offices, that's what I'm looking for. Maybe not the same culture as Barstool for understandable reasons at points, but like that camaraderie that exists there. I know it exists here in esports, but we refuse to show it on camera as much, and I really want to see that bleed through, because that's what makes me a fan of the org beyond just the individual players that we have in League, given that our players don't really stream all that much or do all that. So getting into the org wide beyond just the results is a great way to attach yourself to this brand long term. But speaking of the players, we actually had 2 players do an interview, and they talked about not only a little bit of what went wrong that was also highlighted in all chat, but we also got a glimpse into the off season that we've seen, which we surprisingly did not go to Korea to boot camp in any way, shape, or form. There were many teams, including FlyQuest and I think Cloud9 and Shopify, that went over to Korea during the offseason, given that first stand was happening in Korea, so you could get scrims against better teams. And they just went over to play and practice consistently. And it turns out we didn't do any of that. We actually just took 3 entire weeks off and then started scrimming about 2 days ago as of media day, which was last Tuesday and Wednesday by the time that you're seeing this. So we will have a week and a half of scrims leading up to our first stage game. But other than that, everybody else has just been kind of taking time to themselves, which is, not gonna lie to you, a little worrying going into the split. I'm glad players are getting some time off, especially if we want to make a run deeper into the year and say we do make Worlds. It's going to be a very grueling process from now all the way through October. So good, get that rest while you can have it. But the start might be a little bit shakier than we all might be hoping it to be. The thing that does kind of surprise me though is that they had 3 weeks off, and by all means, I'm not saying you need to do everything on your week off, but I streamed a lot during that period while still working my job and everything else here. And I wanted to make sure at the end of all of those streams that I rated a 100 Thieves player if they were live at the same time that I was. And I typically ended stream around 11 o'clock my time, which would have been 8 o'clock their time. And I was able to raid Sniper once during that stretch. To my understanding, I don't think any other player went live during that period at all. Which, hey, if they truly were like detoxing and getting away, fine, cool. But if they were just playing the game anyways, like I know some of them were, you should have streamed it. Like it's not hard to press go live and just talk to some of the fans and chat for a bit and just start to build up that player personality and brand a little bit more. I was gonna throw out there that Golden Glue said at the end of last offseason, or like whenever we talked about the scrims, of like, oh yeah, had they gone to Korea again, it would have been a good idea to do, or do it in the offseason, but turns out they weren't even scrimming in general. So I guess this is the first week that we can place any sort of judgment on whether they have that kind of content out there or not. And from it's Tuesday as of recording this, I haven't heard anything about a scrim happening this week. So I guess we're just shit out of luck then. Maybe we'll scrim Team Liquid and Cloud9 on stream next week, given that we play both of them this upcoming weekend. But given that everything kicks off this week, I was hoping to see more of an onslaught of content given the break, and I guess we're just not getting that. Kind of is what it is, but at the same time, if we're trying to grow the league, and I'll talk about this more on Friday when it comes to like viewership expectations for Split 2 in spring, I'm a little bit worried. I just want us to make sure that we're doing everything we can, especially given the fact that we are one of those top 4 teams that people are expecting to contend and potentially win this entire thing. So I want to make sure that we are capitalizing on that and using the popularity and momentum to try and push ourselves further and cement 100 Thieves as a brand, especially when our status in the league is still up for grabs and we have no clue what's going on. One of those being the fact that there's still no official 100 Thieves co-streamer for League of Legends, or like co-stream in general. And given the success that we have seen with Nadeshot for the Call of Duty team, with Optic obviously, and several other teams, I want to see them establish a 100 Thieves co-stream. That way you can also upload the VODs of our individual games to the YouTube channel and get more people visiting that page on a more frequent basis. It's what Near Airport and Los Ratones are doing incredibly well in that, yes, they have longer form VODs, and obviously we would have a much more abridged version of that. But I want to see more content on the 100 Thieves YouTube channel, and the co-stream is a very easy way to do that. You get somebody from the org, whether it's Jack, or we just signed another creator based out of London. Is he London, Australian? I can't remember where he's from. But it's not like we lack the creators in 100 Thieves to put on some sort of co-stream, even if it's more casual and just like chill and drinking a beer and shooting the shit. Fine, do that. And then put it up for YouTube content for people to watch. And then it helps promote the co-stream in addition to the main team itself. And you get the VOD footage. It's like a win-win for everybody. So that's my plea to the org. Please get those games uploaded there, because I'm hosting more events this split than I normally do. So like the after game like reactions and recaps won't fully be available on my channel, at least consistently this split, unless I can find a way to record at the bar, which even then, like, I'm more worried about hosting the event than I am like being on camera. I want to make sure everybody has a good time. Speaking of which, this Saturday we'll be in Brooklyn at Brookland watching all the best of ones for opening day of the LTA. If you can swing by, I'll be in my 100 Thieves shit. Actually, I don't know if I will, because I think I'm going out later that night, and I'm not gonna have the chance to go home, so I might not be able to wear my jersey that particular night. But nevertheless, come donning your 100 Thieves apparel in any way, shape, or form. I will be there, I will cheer you on, and I will take a picture with anybody that is wearing 100 Thieves shit, and we'll put it out there saying 100 Thieves repping from New York City. I think it'd be great. But let's get into the meat of this, which is, what is this split going to look like? Well, first, let me go over our schedule, because we probably have the hardest schedule out of everybody. There's like 1 or 2 changes that could have happened to make it like the hardest, but I don't think anybody else has it as bad as we do. And the order is, first we play C9 to kick it all off, then Team Liquid, then FlyQuest, then it takes a break for a little bit in Disguise, Dig, and Lion, and then we close with Shopify Rebellion. But we have the 3 hardest teams in the league as our first 3 best of ones. Now, for those that need a refresher on the format, this is all seeding. Technically, we could lose every single one of these best of ones, and it makes no difference whatsoever. We just go in as the A seed and slot into a group where we likely get out no matter what. But obviously, it's not a good look to go 0-8. In general, our goal for this split is not only to prove ourselves to be a contender. I think that was the goal for split 1, and we effectively did that even if we didn't win. Now, being honest, it is to win. Like, we are at the position, we are at that stage of development where it's like, okay, your next step up from where we were is no longer just making it to finals. We finished 3rd. Now we finished 2nd. Now we need to finish 1st. We need to show that we can get rid of those inconsistency issues, that we can shake the finals nerves and the stage nerves that we consistently seem to have popping up. We have to start overcoming those. It's not just good enough to be top 4 on a consistent basis. You need to continue to level up, or people will start to lose their faith in you. They will lose some of the hype that this roster has, because for the longest time, everybody kind of doubted us. Co-streamers, casters, you name it. People kind of always had this thing of like, okay, well, until they actually like get it done and until the win actually happens, like, I'm not so sure. And now we went through a whole split of that. So now winning those best of ones early on will go a long way, especially as we enter best of 3s and best of 5s, to saying, look, here's our resume. We've been consistently improving. We've been consistently doing well. And if we can find a way to go 3, like, I know it seems ambitious to people, but I honestly expect that level from us at this point. I expect us to be good. And I want to see a 3-0 against the top 3 teams. And I want us to establish ourselves as, yes, a powerhouse. I know people will write off best of ones later and be like, oh, well, they still have to prove it later. Fine. But if we keep bolstering our resume early on, it will go a very long way into making sure that we solidify in people's heads that we deserve to be where we are, and we can not only contend for a title, but we can also possibly win it. Because I think if you want to see everybody actually believe and like fully develop this appreciation and fandom for this roster, they're gonna need to step up and win one of the splits, whether it's this one, the next one, or even early next year. Like, you've got from now on, now that you've made a final, about a 1.5 year window to win one, in my opinion, before expectations start coming in of like, okay, you guys need to make a change, you need to do this and that. Like, realistically, our roster stays the same for this year and next year, barring anything happening, and you would like to see a title come from that. So I'm gonna predict 2-0s every single weekend that we play best of ones, and a 3-0 for Super Week, and I'm gonna predict us to win every single series. How do we beat C9 this weekend, our first matchup in particular? Well, lane swaps haven't gone away per the players as they've done their interviews, and as they said on all chat, it's just kind of extended out to like 4 or 5 minutes. And when we were able to beat C9 in our best of one, honestly, we just kind of beat them in early rotations to fights and just outplayed them. Like, we haven't played C9 enough for me to really have this blueprint, but like, when I think of how you beat C9, it is simply, you don't go down massively in lanes against their really good laners in Thanatos and Loki, and then you just play decisive, play aggressive, and win on team fights, because C9 hasn't shaken yet this image of like, oh, they kind of like react to things better than anybody else other than like their mechanical prowess in lane. Maybe that will change as this roster has more time. It absolutely could, but I think we'll be fine against them. And our bot lane has proven to be formidable. Even in our loss against TL, like, FBI still looked pretty good the entire time. The Team Liquid matchup this weekend in particular is the one that I'm really interested in, because according to Ayla, like, we played bad against them, but also Team Liquid played bad. So if we play up to our normal standard, we can beat them, especially in a best of one. I mentioned this on Monday's video, but I do want to see people step up and take Impact's crown of king of top lane. When he's on a tank and he just gets a kill or an assist, the game becomes unplayable. I want us to be able to shut him down, and that comes from Sniper using this extended laning phase, at least for like the first 5 minutes of game, to his advantage if he can. That comes from Quid not having some of those nerves versus APA and messing up some of the mini plays, but just taking advantage of them. And bot lane, even though Yawn is absolutely the star player of this league, of that Team Liquid team, I think that you can get an advantage on the duo that is Yawn, Core JJ if you truly want to. Might take some cheeky plays, it might take some outstratting them or just bullying them up front and not giving them like an insane amount of respect, because one thing that I do worry about when it comes to playing Team Liquid and Yawn specifically is that people are like, oh, I don't want to challenge Yawn because he's just this guy that can outplay you at all times, is just better in these fights. The only way to be better than somebody is to go toe-to-toe with them and not let them back you down. Finally, I'll close on this. I just want to see every individual player be competing for All Pro at the end of the split. I'm not sure what the voting and like reward system is yet. I have to look into that a little bit further. But it's one of the things that I think Reaper did well whenever we were able to win our championship back in 2021, was like this view of every player needs to level up and the coaching staff needs to do what they need to do so that every player could realistically be first team All Pro. If everybody's first team All Pro and you're winning your games, then guess what? You're probably going to be champions anyways. So have that mentality, try to improve as individuals, come together as a team, out team fight, and we can take home this goddamn championship and the second one ever for 100 Thieves. But that's going to be it for me here. I need to put this camera down. There's a lot of people coming up, and talking and vlogging in a busy part of New York City is not ideal. But I'm happy that Spring Split is finally here. I'm able to have all this outside again, and dear God, it's the greatest city in the world. It's the greatest time of the world, and 100 Thieves League of Legends being back. So I will see you on Friday for the pit. I will see you on Saturday if you're here in New York for our watch party out in Brooklyn, and I will see you on Sunday for the live watch or like live view on my Twitch channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.